Hey guys, welcome back to another video on the Inside Spurs channel. Happy Tuesday evening. Hope you're well. Hope you had a good day. You've enjoyed yourself. You looked after yourself and you kept warm. It's been a pretty brutal one out there recently. But we're talking some transfers, and it's definitely some hot transfers. So we do have some quite breaking news around Sergio Reguilon and a move away to a Premier League club. We do also have an update around Hajduk Split and their interest in Ivan Perisic and how that kind of looks like it's going to happen, as well as interest in a young player from Norwich. So plenty to get into, plenty to talk about. Just want to say, if you're new, subscribe. You're very much welcome to join us for the journey. And let's talk a little bit of Sergio Reguilon. So it came out earlier today from Perisic, it's an exclusive. Brentford are advancing in talks to sign Sergio Reguilon. Loan deal close to being agreed with Tottenham at the final stages. Discussions will follow on player side, waiting for Reguilon decision, as several clubs are interested, right? So it came out and it looks like this thing is just picked up steam. And it does look like this is going to be happening. He's going to be moving to Brentford on a loan deal to the end of the season. Keen to see if there's an option to buy. Very, very keen to see if there's an option to buy. There was talk that he was looking to get a 6-month loan deal. This is Reguilon. 6-month loan deal, play really well, put himself in a shop window ahead of potentially a bigger move to a club than Brentford. No offence, Brentford. It's just what I'm reporting. First and foremost, let's talk about the loan itself to Brentford in terms of, for him, I think that's a great move. I think, you've got Rico Henry who plays at fullback for Brentford. Obviously, they can use Reguilon quite similar in a way with Henry, bombing forward, lots of energy. And with Reguilon, if you can get the opportunity to put enough balls into the box, and Ivan Toney's going to be sitting there in the box, you can get 5 or 6 assists this season, no issues, as long as your service is good. So, in that regard, in terms of him wanting to put himself in the shop window in the summer ahead of quite a big move, this would be a really good position to be in. But for Spurs, obviously, we're going to want Brentford to be taking on the majority of his wages, which I think they probably will. He's not on crazy amounts of money that they can't afford, right? But I also think Spurs, we'll get a loan fee out of it. We'll get, maybe a mil or two out of this, hopefully. But also hope some Spurs put in an option to buy. Somewhere 10 to 15 million, somewhere in that realm. They stick it in there. If he does well and he lights it up for a bit, brilliant, by the way, because he's also on a loan deal. So therefore, if he plays really well against teams in and around us, it's only benefits Spurs for the next 6 months. But also, if he does do well, we cash in, add that money towards the summer. You move maybe 1 or 2 more, and Spence maybe gets taken up full time for another sort of 10 million. If Ndombele continues the good run of behaviour and form he's had for the last couple of weeks, maybe never know. Tanganga, we'll see on that. Roden, might get a few quid out of Roden as well. So you start to look at it and go, well, these players are on loan, but they don't half add up to 30, 40 million. And that makes a huge difference. We're not going to need open heart surgery in the summer. 3 to 4 players, that might cover a couple of players on its own. That's why I'm going to look at it. So yeah, that looks like it's just coming to a here we go, confirmed soon, I think. Let's talk Ivan Perisic. And Fabrizio Romano via Kick Streaming said, when he was asked about Perisic playing for Spurs, he said, my answer is no, I don't think Ivan Perisic is going to play for Tottenham anymore in his career. Because of the injury, of course, but also Hajduk Split are still dreaming of Ivan Perisic as a January signing. So they're going to make a push this week, next week, to make the deal happen. I've kind of been saying this for a while. Because the Croatian transfer window ends in, I think it's the middle of February, you can kind of just predict it's going to happen. And the fact that, you can free up that squad spot, you can free up Lloris's squad spot, you free up Dyer's squad spot, that's only a good thing. And if you do move, let's say if you did move on a Pierre Højbjerg, that's 4 squad spots that you opened up. Very, very limited, these squad spots. They're very important. So moving players out of those squad spots is only going to help Spurs. Allows you to have a Dragujin, allows you to have a Werner or a midfielder or whatever you want to do. If you move off of Brian Hill, that's another one that you can have, So, yeah, it's a shame. Perisic would have been very useful right about now, but also he'd have been fantastic in this system. We've already seen it this season in this system. he's money. He's absolute money. So it is a shame. It is a real big shame. And let's finish off with this team talk report. And it also came from Alistair Gold. You know, Alistair Gold, homegrown players, English players, Football London love that. They're all over that sort of thing. Team Talk put out that Tottenham have reportedly joined the growing race to sign 12-goal Norwich City forward Jonathan Rowe. I'm not going to lie. I don't watch a ton of Norwich. I know that you're sitting there going, "What? You don't watch a ton of Norwich?" I personally don't. Shocking. I know. I didn't even watch them when they were in the Premier League. So in the Championship, I'm going to watch them even less. But I have seen some clips of Jonathan Rowe. I really like what I see. Plenty of explosive pace. Quite tricky, actually. Quite good feet. He seems to be, when you look at the Championship, and you can see there's certain wingers that are absolutely killing it, right? He's and wingers, attackers, by the way. You can add him to that list. He's absolutely that. And those sort of deals do excite me in a way, more so than ever with Ange. Because I don't ever think Pochettino in his early stages would, like the Dyer, like the Ali. But you weren't going to see it from Nuno. You weren't going to see it from Mourinho, really, unless he was pushed into it because of injuries. You weren't really seeing it with Mason, really. You weren't seeing it with Conte. So with Ange, I can kind of see it a bit more. You've seen it a little. He's had his hand forced this year with, having to see loads of Donnellys and Dorringtons on the benches, which is lovely. Don't worry, it's absolutely lovely. But I also like those guys get a bit more time out on loan. And I think you can start to see a bit more of a carousel where, if you do bring in that Rowe, can you get him out on loan to somewhere in the Premier League, a little bit lower down in the Premier League? If you get him this window, do you loan him straight back and then bring him in the summer? Love a little bit of that as well. But I am excited by that potential. I wonder if you are. But anyway, guys, at the end of the video, hope you did enjoy it. Drop a like on the video if you did. Hit me in the comment section below. Your thoughts, feelings about Reguilon going to Brentford. Looks like it's pretty much going to be happening. Obviously, if you're hoping there's an option to buy, keen to see what you think about that one. Obviously, you've got the Perisic high split. I think, you've said a lot about it. But if you haven't said anything or you want to say some more about it, let me know. And obviously, a little bit about Jonathan Rowe. Keen to see if any of you really have any thoughts about that. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and hit the bell notification for more. But anyway, guys, it's been a video. And I'll see you all very, very soon. Take care, guys.